Welcome to Job July or Job Lee. Well, let's start by saying, oh, I'm drawing a blank. Tudan Rahaban. I learned it yesterday, so I had a long day today. So let's see if this actually this resonates, because yesterday was the last day in June where I was June-ish. Where I was Jewish for the month of June, which is June-ish. So be the ish or not, right? So last month's recap, I didn't do ham for an entire month. That was tough. It was very tough. You ever see like one of those sick or dying people on TV, like in a zombie movie? Like my veins were turning black. Ham is my thing, so I didn't realize that until I got into it. Yeah. So, well, back on the pork wagon. So, luckily there is no mixing of dairy or meats in Natter Days all summer long. Natter Days. Miss June is making me a cup that actually, she showed me a photo of somebody else who made this cup, and I think it's gonna be sweet. We're gonna have my new Life22 cup. It's gonna be a Natter Days cup. It's gonna be a Yeti model. It's gonna be sweet. So regardless, this thing's gonna be awesome. And so we made it through June-ish. Be the ish or not. So as much criticism as I thought I would get, I didn't get that much. Actually, there was a lot of people that were like, "Yeah, let's do it." You know what I mean? But I always get that in person from people. It's when the newspaper picks it up, when the press gets it, and they just take the ball and they start running. It's like a very, I don't know, piss poor football game. You're just like, why does that guy even have the ball? He's a fan, right? Like, why is he running with it? This isn't the layups. You know what I mean? Like, from the special guest at seat 417, you get to shoot the free throw. You know what I mean? Like, or throw the pitch. Why is this guy in football running with the ball? It's the press. Thank you, local newspaper. But this month they didn't pick up on any of it because they don't pay attention unless it's, if it catches Buffalo's attention, then they give a shit. Which is very humorous to me because it shows them how much they're worth. You know what I mean? Like if it's the AP, they've got it. They got it. If I catch the AP, they got my story. So, regardless, I'm ranting. So June-ish went well. A lot of people of the Jewish faith were very excited to, to have me spend Sabbath with them. Apparently and I learned that the local temple has very, very low turnout, so they didn't actually have too many Sabbaths. Like people just celebrated Sabbath at home. And then if you're very Hasidic, which our temple is Reform here in the city of Olean, so they, being Reformed, like everything is optional. So like, you know what I mean? Like if you're a Reformed Jew, you don't have to wear the yarmulke or the kaput, the kippah. So those are some things that were, I learned, but you know what I mean. So at the same time, Reform is not the type to actually like strictly stick to the scripture where you can't flip a light switch. I feel like a light switch is easier than lighting a lantern on your ceiling. So, that's run off of fuel oil or gas. So I would assume that's not, you know what I mean, trying to take it easy, because taking it easy is following modern technology. But like some of the Hasids and stuff, they really take that stuff seriously, and you can't even like revert to modern form. You have to stay in old school, right, so to speak, for that long time. And that was, I don't know, a very learning experience for me. Big learning experience. So that was kind of, I mean, I learned that. They have to walk to temple. They're allowed to walk to temple, but they can't take a car unless they don't drive. All right. Still, to me, seems like, you know what I mean? It's your day of rest. You can't walk. Or you can walk, but you can't drive. I feel like driving's a lot easier. More frustrating to park, maybe. I mean, but, yeah. To each, you know what I mean? To, like, that's not our local community because they're mostly Reform, right? So they're not Hasidic. They're not, you know what I mean? You're not. This isn't the Bronx. This isn't Israel, right? This isn't. Well, I wouldn't say the Bronx. What, Brooklyn, maybe. Anyways, New York City, which is not New York. Which I've got a whole segment on the not New York. Welcome to New York. Should not be about the city. It should be about the state and its beautiful culture. So I had a rough day today because it's July, and so we've been taking requests. Right, we're like a radio station now. We're taking requests. What's next month's theme? And one of the themes to be more family oriented actually is gonna take a back seat, just because there's a lot less family events in July. But it is going to happen. So, and we very much appreciate Anonymous Jeff's request, and we appreciate it. And it's very life theming. It's our goal, right? Like, is self-reflection, building yourself as a better person. Family is a big part of that. So, I mean, like, it's something that's on the list. It just didn't seem right for July. So, it missed the cut, but it didn't miss the season. So we did take another request from the same person who inspired June-ish, right? Juicy Lies, right? Didn't go with it. Sorry, Johnny. Sorry, Johnny, for that one. Juicy Lies. We did not do Juicy Lies, which have been good for July, right? But we also, you know what I mean, talking with, a lot of people that participate was, God, I'm going to spend August and September trying, you know what I mean? There's those 2 months of repension. Because as much as Juicy Lies could have been a great thing for character building, right? Building your charisma, your salesmanship, like, can you sell the ketchup popsicle to the woman in white gloves? Maybe. Maybe not. Can you do it? But now you have to sell Juicy Lies all month long, right? It becomes trouble, because now people are going to consider you a liar. Are they going to, you know what I mean? Is any word you say this month, is your word your bond this month? You're just a shyster, right? Like, there's a difference. So that's that comes into question, and that was like a big thing that we discussed, and we wanted to vet it through, and you know what I mean. I gave that one the most vetting because I've known about it since the end of May. But then, as every month happens, the last day of June happens, the last day of the month happens, and then into part of the first day of the month, and we're still scrambling to pick a theme. Because it's all about honesty, you know what I mean? And that's why Juicy Lies just didn't fit. Nice title, though. We went with Job July, right? Jobly. Right? So it's Jobly, Jobly, whatever you want to call it. I get a few rental properties, right? So, like, we had some that were being fixed in the last 2 months. We get little odd jobs. I have people, like, not showing up to mow lawns. Like, listen, like, come on, mow a lawn. You want to be a contractor. You want to make it. You want to follow the American dream. You want to mow a goddamn lawn. Show up. I'll even provide you with one of my lawnmowers. It's my lawn. I could do that, right? This is America. I don't care what state you're in. You can provide somebody with a lawnmower and have them mow a property you own and they don't have to be contracted by the city. You know what I mean? They don't have to be whatever. Like, you have to be contracted by the city. No, like, I hired this individual to mow, to do this specific task. They're not a contractor, right? Like, there's certain things, like, maybe they have to be contracted, but like if they're hired directly by the individual, there's a huge debate on this because a lot of people believe that you can hire whoever you want, and I'm a firm believer in this is America, and if I buy property, I can slaughter goats on it for religious beliefs if I want to. I mean, it's my property. I can do whatever the hell I want to. It's my property, right? So, but the state and other people have stepped in and said blah 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 blah, and then so what happens is now you have to get licensed, and so if you hire some 16-year-old kid to mow your lawn, you know what I mean, in nowadays society you have to have insurance because the insurance has to cover the kid. What if the kid cuts his own foot off? The kid shouldn't have been operating a goddamn lawnmower if he can cut his own foot off. But oh, wait a minute, everybody's done it since the beginning of time. Right? Like, oh, well, the cow could bash the kid's brain in by, when he's milking it. He could just back kick and hit him, right? Like, it shit happens. Regardless. This month is all about work ethic, right? Quality over quantity, right? Don't try to bang out as many jobs as you can. I'm a contractor. A lot of people are contractors. I know tons of contractors. This month, it's for you guys to strive to be better. Right? This is about job quality. This is about our state. This is about our community. This is about everything that we stand for. We are the backbone of this goddamn nation. As everybody else is damning us, we must. Well, damn back. Fuck everybody else. You are the best in your industry, and you better fucking prove it this month. Prove it. Prove it to me, prove it to your customers, prove it to everybody. Prove it to the media, prove it to the code enforcement officer, prove it to anybody who's got a stick up their asshole and wants to fuck with you because your work is top notch. And then this is also a call out to the rest of you fuckheads up there who think that who don't think that they have to work. This is a huge month, right? So like I've had 4 or 5 people just not show up, just walk. Like some kid said he could help point a chimney, right? Like, all right, point a chimney. Do it. You won't do it. Point a chimney. He wouldn't point my chimney. Well, he would. He started, and then he just didn't show up. It was a big deal. He walked off a job site today. Like that's big. I know tons of other contractors. I talked to one today. He went full bore. He was this one-man crew. He'd hire a buddy from time to time to help him carry stuff, do deliveries, or, you know what I mean, like hang a door. Hang a door is a 2-man job, right? Like, very mediocre. Because the letter of the law is you gotta do all the fancy stuff, right? Before you gotta have all the insurance and the paperwork and the T's dotted, the I's dotted and the T's crossed before you do shit in the industry. That's not how it works. Joe the plumber didn't start out with 7 guys in a crew and 4 work trucks. No. He built that business. You don't build the business from the middle. You build it from the bottom. That's just how it works. You start by yourself, and then you get a truck. You start on a bike. You know what I mean? You wield a paintbrush, and then all of a sudden you wield a paint sprayer. Right? Like, those are the things. You got 2 crescent wrenches, and you got 20. And you got a sewer machine. You know what I mean? And then you got a truck to haul the sewer machine. You don't have to pull it on the little recycled kids trolley that follows behind your bicycle, right? Like, these are the things that Americans, do. So, anyways, he started out small, and he was hiring people from time to time. And I talked to him today. I said, "Man, what do you got going on? Like, I got a kid who walked off my job site. Do you know anybody who can help me with this chimney? It's the last day of sunshine for this week. It's supposed to thunder and lightning the rest of the week. And I've been following it since Friday because I know I've got to get this chimney done." You know what happens? No, man. What do you mean no? Everybody's busy? No, I fired everybody. I'm tired of people showing up to work. 9 hours of work. 4 hours of actual work. 9 hours, or not showing up at all, or leaving early, or coming up with some bullshit excuse because they don't take quality of their goddamn shit. Everybody's so obsessed with the fact that they're entitled to something that they haven't worked hard for. This country was founded on people that gave a fuck about their country, about the work that they did, the pride that they had. It doesn't matter if they made a hay penny an hour. They did the best job they could, and we've lost that. Somewhere along the way, we've lost it. It's like a pocket watch. You've just pulled it out of your pocket. You dropped it on the ground. Where the fuck is it? Nobody knows. There's very few people that hold their pocket watches anymore. There's very few people that hold their pride close to them. They just let it flail out there until it's gone. And that's what this month is about. This month is about, we're in the middle of, snap diggity. All right, there we go. Boom. We're in the middle of summertime. Houses need painted. People are bitching about blight. You know what blight is? Blight is people not giving a fuck about their community. Not giving a shit about anything around them. They just want to sit back, eat popcorn, and watch the end of the world happen. And the world isn't ending today, people, so you're just going to rot your lives away. So get out there. Make your house look nice. Even if you're not a contractor, even if you have a job, do better at your day job, and then come home and fucking take pride in your house. Do whatever it is that you need to do that you have to take pride in. Remember that you need to take pride this month. This is Pride Month, people. This is 4th of July. If you're an American citizen, 4th of July should mean something to you. A lot of people, it's just another day they get off of work, right? It should mean something. It's the day that our founding fathers looked at a government they left and said, listen, you're not going to control my life anymore. I'm taking pride in my work. I'm taking pride in myself. I'm going to believe what I want to believe. And I'm going somewhere else. And then that spawned the 4th of July. Because the 4th of July was them saying, listen, we're signing this document saying that we are independent of you. We're not part of you anymore. We are us. So join us. Join us. Take pride in your work. Give a fuck about your community. You want to bitch about blight. People bitch about blight to me all the time. How do you solve blight? How do you solve blight? How do you solve blight? Yeah, sure. You can legislate some of it, right? Right? You can make people put money where their mouth is. And that's a good sentiment, right? But that doesn't do it. No. Fuck no. It doesn't do it. You know what does it? Taking pride. Taking pride in what you do, what you own, what you have, what you are on this planet. Everything. Like an ocean tide, right? Like you are all the blood in your body, right? And as it flows in and out, as the breath comes in and out of your body, if that's filled with pride, everything that you gasp your breath on, fucking nail it. Every time. Do it. And that's this month's challenge. And I challenge you to take pride in your shit. Show up to work. Show up to work. I'm actually thinking about building a bus stop this month. Not you know what I mean? Just one of those. It doesn't have to be a glass booth. It's gonna look like a woodshed. My funds are limited. I'm not building you guys a fucking glass, fucking steel frame bus stop. All right, unless I find one. You guys are I'm setting up a bus stop, and I'm going to work with a local business, or local businesses, or the community. We're going to put a bus stop in. It's going to be a few months, like almost a year ago, they put in like a book loaner box. It's like a little bird box. You open up the door. It's the little public library. You put your book in it, and then you grab a book. Take a book, grab a book. It's a good business, a community effort, right? Putting up a bus stop. I think that's a cool thing, right? I'm going to put up this bus stop, and you sit at the bus stop. You don't have a job. You don't have a job. You need a job. Sit at the bus stop. People, and it's not gonna be clearly marked a bus stop. The bus will not stop at this bus stop, so please do not sit there. If you do not understand the English language as it's written, I will write it in 3 other languages. Hopefully it's something you can read, so you don't just sit there. I'd hate to see somebody sit there all day waiting for a bus that doesn't show up. It's not going to be marked like a bus stop. It will slightly look like a bus stop, and there will be a park bench in it. You sit there, and then homeowners can show up. Contractors can show up. People looking for day laborers can show up and say, listen, I'm looking to hire somebody to help me weed my garden. It could be a little old lady. Give me little old ladies. You know how many little old ladies when I was in high school hired me to paint a fence? I never painted a fence. After the first 2 fences, I hated painting. I love painting now. I love it. Love it. I breathe painting. Right? I take pride in my painting. I can cut in with my eyes closed. Fucking love it. But regardless, there's very few things that I love in this world. Electrical, painting, those are the two. Those are two things. Besides, obviously, like in my work life, besides my kids, and you know what I mean. Like those are, but you know how many like kids turn down painting fence jobs because it's tough work. It's tough work. You know what? Everything in life that you can endure it. Endure it. It makes you a better person. This is part of life theming, people. You need to endure the shit you don't endure every day. You need to do it. You need to build yourself. You need to make yourself a better person. You need to work on you. And that's what this is all about. So, if you don't have a job, if you find yourself being lazier than you should be, pick up an extra job. Why not? You got free time? Why be at the bar drinking? Like, listen, I had a tough day today. I woke up and I had a couple service calls. I had to go play backup on a chimney. I haven't even taken a shower yet. Look how grubby I am. I got fucking blood marks on me. Like, Lachlan went to knuckle me today, and he goes, "Daddy, boo boo." And I'm like, yeah, dude, boo boo. My hands. Oh, that happened the other day. That was rough. Geyser of blood in the driveway. But nonetheless, like, shit happens. It doesn't feel any better now. You can see the striations on my hands. Mortar eats the fuck out of you. It dries the hell out of your hands. But you know what? I had a fucking tough day. We worked on that chimney until about 6:30. We got out of the house at 7. You know what I mean? Like, it was a 12-hour day today. And I'm tired. And it was brutally hot today. We got so much done. I ended up still picking up a side job and helping a client move the heaviest washing machine in the entire world up a flight of stairs. I could see why the delivery guys are like, we lifted this up to the back of the house. That's our job. We're supposed to install it. And I said, well, listen, my client wants it inside the house. It won't fit through the back door. So I and a friend carried it back down, out the front door, up the front door, into the house, had to adjust a railing mid-stairwell. And got it in. Because that was the job. The job wasn't like, well, they don't pay me to, you know what I mean, a reschedule. They don't pay me for this. They pay me to get my job done. That's what people pay me for. And I take pride in my work. And I wasn't going to take no for an answer. And all the door frames in the front of the house had no problem doing it. Nobody had a goddamn tape measure before they walked up there with the heaviest washing machine in the world. We did it. Because we take pride in our work. Everybody I know takes pride in their work. Except for the people I know that I tried to hire to do some small tasks. Like, listen, don't walk off a job site. You think you can mortar this chimney? Don't tell me you can, and then don't show up. People not showing up for lawn mowing jobs. So I got people not. I had to wake 3 people up in the last couple days to try to go to work. Like, listen, shit's ridiculous. You're adults. Act like it. I mean, like, I have a feeling that this bus stop, and I was talking to a friend of mine about it, this bus stop is either going to be an amazing thing, and it will always be empty because you'll sit there for 5 minutes and somebody will find you and give you a job because there's so much work. Listen, I pick up 7 extra jobs a day because there's so much work. Can't do the paperwork because there's so much work. I don't get paid on half my jobs because I don't have time to do the paperwork, because it's too ridiculous, the amount of work that, you know what I mean? Like, and you can't, you can tell people no, but you can't tell everybody no. But for people to tell me that I have to leave New York State because it's too much work. Now, listen, you leave New York State because they create too much work, right? Like, I get it. But I bleed New York. I bleed it regardless of who our governor is. I bleed this state. And I'll probably die there. I wasn't even born here. Listen, like, my parents were born in New York. I was born in Connecticut, man. I moved here in 2004. I was 16 years old when I came here. And I bleed this state. I bleed it. So, yeah. It's tough shit here. And when so that's the sad reality, is that the people that tell you that there's no work, there's no jobs, they're just lazy fuckheads. You can sit there and tell me all day that there's no work in this state, and I can show you 14 people at the local hardware store that are looking for help. And if you don't know it, you ask. I will gladly tell you anything you need to know. Like, because listen, it's not going to hurt my business. I need to train more individuals to know vocational things so that I don't have kids out there just slapping paint on buildings and going, oh, was I not supposed to paint the car in the driveway too? I got that once. You know how much it costs to paint a customer's car? It's free. You know how much the shop costs you to fix it? That's a deductible. And it's an insurance hit. And it sucks. Because you hired some kid that wanted to slap paint on the side of a house. It sucks. Anyways. This bus stop idea will be an amazing thing if people use it. Right? It'll either be empty because nobody has to sit there, because little old ladies and guys like myself can show up and say, listen, I need 2 guys to go mow a lawn. It's a big one, you know what I mean? Or I need someone to go patch a roof around a chimney. I need someone to paint a window. I need someone to install a window. I need some help with this. I need some help with that. Anybody that comes to this bus stop will have work for these people. Logistics of it, whatever. You're looking for work, these people will pay you. Right? Like, it's on you to know what you have to do for whatever government agency requires you to work. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if you're on the system, like, count your income, man. Somebody hands me $20 cash, I claim every dollar. You don't claim your money. I mean, that's between you and your government. You and your God, whatever. It's on you. But do it. Like, somebody shows up to this thing, and it'll either be a success or it'll be the epitomes of all my fear coming true. That I live in a world where nobody wants to work, and I have to support more than just my family. I have to support everyone's family, or 30. Listen, I fire enough people, I wonder, like, is there a job out there for those people? Or are they just baggage that I have to carry, or I have to partially carry with everybody else for the rest of their days? Then they'll go off and have children and survive and have lives like myself, not as enjoyable, I would assume, but they'll have kids and things that they care about and all these other things, and that the rest of us have to carry that burden, right? Like, there's certain people that have down days, and there's certain people that leech off the system. So which leeches do you pull, and which burdens do you carry, right? Like, certain items have worth, and certain things do not, right? You don't put everything in your camping backpack, right? Like, are you an adult camping, or are you a child getting ready for vacation and every one of your toys goes in your suitcase and you forgot all your clothes, right? Like there's something to it, right? So that was what my buddy said. Was I said that it'll either prove that it's very successful, and he said, or you'll realize your worst fears. It's just the realization of it. But so that's the outreach. There's two different steps to this one. This is pushing you to be a better person, right? But it's also pushing you to push others to be better people. So this is like a little more than just a self-help life theming, right? This is a there is internal reflection and building and self-worth, but this is also, which by pushing you to push others, it's still self-help, right? That's still self-growth. If you can't push others, then you know what I mean. You're not alone on this island, guys. We're all here together. We're gonna fix it. Sometimes I sound down in the dumps like I did a minute ago. Like, which burdens are we rising? Like, listen, like I'm not saying you just go out and kill people. I'm saying that they're people too. You push them. You push them to do what they're supposed to do, right? There's things that people are supposed to do. They're not supposed to live off of my paycheck, because I'll cut my paycheck in an instant. I make people decide, right? Like, people should decide on what they do. What are their answers, right? Not going to work for them. Teach a man to fish, right? That's why the saying is what it is. Teach a man to fish, don't give a man a fish. It's not that he'll eat for a day. It's that he'll expect food every day. That's why you teach him to fish. So, job lease. Job July. Or job lice. Yeah, whatever, however you want to pronounce it. I've been bantering for 32 minutes. So, besides that, I also thought about a lot of things that New York was known for. Only New York was a starter city, so I want to go off on this little side tangent here because it's very related to Jobly, right? New York was only in New York was a test city for welfare when it was originally created. And a friend of mine from California was telling me the other day that, like, you know how hard it is to find people that work the orange fields. My buddy's not even in the orange industry. He just says it's a big deal. He goes, man, we used to, you know what I mean? We used to have residents that would work in the orange fields, and then they all retired. And then what happened was that their generations grew up and said, well, listen, I can collect welfare and make way more money. So what happened was illegal immigrants came over the border and started working the orange fields, picking the fruit that nobody wanted to pick, right? Like, who wants to pick fruit for, minimum wage and work in the hot, sweltering sun and get eaten by bugs and gets, I'm assuming you're picking oranges all day or fruits all day. You're probably going to have what bartenders call lime rot. You're just going to get these, citric acid sores on your hands, right? Like, who wants that? Nobody wants that, right? So what happened was that time went on, government agencies got relaxed, and now they can't find anybody to pick the fruit fields anymore, because guess what? Everybody qualifies for welfare, regardless if you're a U.S. citizen or not. So what happens is that all these people are learning, well, I can go to America and just collect welfare and make way more money, or they'll start in the fruit fields and then quickly learn, because of word of mouth, that they can just stop, collect welfare, not have to worry about it anymore, and then the government will take care of them, right? And then, so that's the big issue. So what also happens with small mom and pop shops, right? Like, let's say you have a successful mom and pop shop. This company makes, you're the first glue factory, right? Like, you learn to make glue, and you know what I mean? You're widgets. You're making widgets. So you're first generation. You work really hard and you make your business. and second generation, and they saw how bad their mom and pop worked, and they worked just as hard, if not slightly less. You know what I mean? They had some little privilege, right? So and then all of a sudden, third generation, that's when the business takes a shit, because they don't see how hard grandma worked when they were little. They just saw how much their parents worked, and they worked a little bit less. And then, you know what I mean? Third and fourth generation businesses, family-owned businesses fail. And it's because they're grown up and they're raised in it, and they don't see how hard these people work. And I really feel like, and the people have written books on that, right? So let's talk about, like, you know what I mean, first and, you know, third and fourth generation business owners, and then you take like welfare recipient third and fourth generations. I really feel like there's a book to be written there. Listen, everybody needs a leg up. I'm not telling you to just, you know, smite everybody until they, you know what I mean? You don't just round up your yard until you see the one thing that grows, right? Like, no, the missus plants wildflowers every year in the same pots. She lets everything grow. She lets grass, weeds, like, I'm pretty sure we got rhubarb in one of them. The birds keep moving my sunflowers over there. I specifically picked those out because those will destroy all our flowers, because they suck all the nutrients out of these pots. But anyways, you let it all grow. Let it all grow, right? That's the goal of it. And the problem with everything nowadays is that nothing grows. We just let everything stay at the same level. I don't know. It's, you try working, you know, a near 12-hour day, and then, like, be an idea man at night, right? Like, this is where I spend, like, some of my free time. You know what I mean? Is, like, thinking, how can I make the world better for my children, my children's children? What did my ancestors do? You know what I mean? And everybody had flaws along the ways, and we're just kind of like tripping over new flaws, right? We just keep coming up with stuff, and because we are all flawed, but we don't. I don't know. I lost my train of thought on that whole argument right there, but you know, it's just what it is. The good work ethic. Showing the world what you're worth, right? Like, I get that little Chinese kid needs to make shoes, right? Like, and I'm not trying to take that away from him, but if you think that you can make a better shoe than a little Chinese kid, then make one. It's America. It's the golden dream is, right? The American dream is that you can come here, own land, do whatever the fuck you have to do, as long as it doesn't infringe on other people's rights, right? Like, I'm not telling you to start a human butcher shop, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to kill anybody. But you come here and you have an idea and you pop it into our capitalistic society, and the market will bear what your idea is worth, right? And sometimes your idea is worth fighting for, and understanding that it's worth something, and make people realize that it's worth something. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to put forth the effort, then you're not entitled to the fruits of your labor, because you haven't put any labor forward. And the fruits of your labor are worth what they're worth. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. And a lot of people have lost that. I used to say this a lot. If the American dream, the American streets are paved with gold. The problem is that there is a lot of layers of dirt on top of it. So you better start digging. You want to get to those streets of gold, you better start paving your own path. You better find a street, dig down, start paving your path of gold, because nobody's going to pave it for you. Because this is the land of hard work and self-worth. And if you have neither, then you're just going to die here. That's it. That's it. You're not going to prosper. Because the American dream is not that you just get it. It's the American dream is that you work hard. You work till your back hurts every goddamn day. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I have aches and pains and spots I didn't know I had. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's not. But that's the American fucking dream. Anybody who wants to tell me otherwise can meet me at Oak Hill Park. Just like we did in high school. I'm just kidding. Maybe I'm not. Too many natter days to give a fuck. Except for this. I feel like this was a very inspirational, like, momentous video that I've put forward that has taken just over 40 minutes. So I thank you guys for staying tuned, staying subscribed, and listening to Kevin Talk Radio, and hanging in there. There's more to come. Dude, I'm beat. I'm beat right now. I am beat. I'm gonna soak in a hot shower, and it will be fucking halfway into midnight, but halfway past midnight by the time I am ready for tomorrow. And I gotta get up early. And this desk is full of paperwork. This desk is piled paperwork. I got paperwork here, more paperwork, unread mail here. It's brutal. It's brutal, but you know what I mean? Like, I got bills over there. You got to pay I got to pay so they don't come and take my firstborn. This is America. It's fucking tough. But it's worth it. You know what I mean? For every freedom you have that some cocksucker didn't take from you fucking 40 years ago. Was it 1920s, the Roaring 20s, and then the 1930s took our beer away? Fuckers. They didn't take it they didn't take it away for that long, but still, that's... People need to take an edge off, you know what I mean? And you just... 40 years ago, they took pot away from people. So I was telling somebody tonight, you have a vice, right? Everybody has a vice, right? Like I drink too much, you know what I mean? Some people love their kids way too much, the devouring mother, right? And some people have too much religion. Some people, they have too much of a lot of things. Some people eat too much healthy food, right? Some people eat too much non-gluten, right? You just start having things that people start taking things away, and I don't know, it's just everybody's got something. Before some fuck thought it was necessary to take shit away from you. This is America. You work hard for it. You deserve it. If you don't work hard for it, you don't deserve shit. That's it. There's a lot of people that just drag their feet. And there's some people that have to drag their feet, right? Like, I get it. You know what I mean? The kid with an extra chromosome, and he has to bag groceries his whole life because that's really like the only skill he picked up, right? But he does his best and he means well, right? And like, those are the people social programs are for, and I get that. But don't try to be compassionate with me, telling me that every person that has a bad back or a fucking sore foot or whatever when they're at work, they get goddamn restless leg syndrome. You know that I've seen 10 people this year that I've asked. I'm like, oh, I saw you had a handicap sticker. Oh, just inquiring. Just, oh, I noticed you had the handicap sticker, sir. You're not in a wheelchair. What's wrong? I'm like, oh, I have restless leg syndrome. 10 fucking people. 10 people so far in the last year I've asked have restless leg syndrome, and they give them a handicap sticker, which should be reserved for people that like can't walk. Like, oh, I just got out of a war. I lost a leg. I have to have a handicap van drop my wheelchair off so my scooter can go into Walmart to buy my groceries. No, that's not the case. And it's not that, oh, well, they gave me an extra $500 a month for food stamps, so now all of a sudden I can eat more, and I'm so fucking fat that it's ridiculous. And it's stressful, right? Like, The person is eating so much that they're handicapped now, and now they can't work. Right? Like that's an issue. Like my bones hurt every day because I make them hurt. Because I go to work. Because I work for something more. Because I work for quality over quantity. And God damn it if anybody will ever tell me that I'm not a functioning member of society. I'm a cog in the machine. That is our future, right? Like, cogs break, get replaced, and that's what my kids are. My kids are the next cogs in the machine. And the machine will go forward, and they'll have a beautiful life, right? These are the things that we all hope for. But now I'm ranting past that 45-minute point, so I'm gonna let you guys go. There is no council meeting this week, but we do have a lot of exciting stuff coming up. I'm hoping more Jobly people will come forward, tell your story. We're looking for volunteers to help build the bus stop. We're looking for volunteers for local business owners that want to sponsor the bus stop. Maybe a factory, maybe a hardware store, maybe whoever, but to put the bus stop in front of, so people, you know what I mean? Maybe just, maybe it's in front of an orchard. I mean, I prefer it to be in my city, but you know what I mean? Like, they have Child's Blueberries has a blueberry field that they always hire summer help. There's tons of other blueberries, you know what I mean? Like other types of farm work around this area, factory work around this area, small factories. I mean, it's just tons of stuff, tons of work. People, get out there. It's Jobly. Take pride in your work. Your minor bullshit isn't worth losing a job over. You have a family to feed, and if you don't have a family to feed, someday you will, and you will need to have these work ethic skills. And having none of these skills does, you know what I mean? Like, shit, Tim the bartender, I was talking to him today. He doesn't have any kids, but motherfucker's got work ethic. All right. Where are we? 47 minutes before the 50-minute mark. Welcome from the 90s. I am Audi 500.